Salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the planet Earth, the John Campea Show, coming from right here in our quaint little studio. I'm, of course, your host, John Campea. I'm joined in studio today by our technical producer, Jonathan Voico.
Hello, hello.
Writer, director, producer, Robert Meyer Burnett.
I am very happy to be back in the studio.
And it's good to have you back. And most importantly, of course, you guys are here. Thank you so much for being here, all you guys joining us live and being here as we talk about our favorite things in the world, movies and movie news, TV and streaming and all that good stuff. And we got a lot of stuff to get to here today, so let's not waste any time and get right to it. And we're going to start off with this. Yesterday, Amazon dropped the new trailer for Spider-Man Noir. Did you have a chance to see it?
I did.
I loved it.
I did too.
You enjoyed it?
What's not to love?
Oh my God, I thought it looked like it was
trailer. Rad.
It took me from being, I'm interested in this, to straight up excited about it. You know what I said on the show yesterday? Whether it was with Logan or anything else, I don't buy into the special black and white edition nonsense.
Right.
I find it to be a pointless gimmick. I've never enjoyed it. And I knew they were going to do it with this show, but I had no intention of watching in black and white. After watching that trailer yesterday, I must watch it in black and white.
Of course.
You know, when it showed the color at the end, it felt wrong.
Yeah, totally.
Just felt out of place and felt wrong. Well, it's coming out end of May. I believe it's the end of May. Yeah. May 27th, I believe. It's coming out. But depending on your point of view, Amazon is about to bless some of you or lube it up and stick it right up there and screw the rest of you, depending on your point of view. Because according to a new report in Polygon, you can now officially watch the new Spider-Man.
I got a different screen.
Oh dear. Let me, once again, we're having a problem with this, I guess. Let me see if I can reset this.
Ooh, that's a cool picture.
I know. I love that shot with the lightning from the trailer. I had to go frame by frame to get that.
Okay, I think we got it now.
Okay.
You can now officially watch the new Spider-Man show 2 days early, but there's a catch.
Of course.
They're going to it. Fans of the broodiest Spider-Man in existence are in for a real treat this upcoming May with Amazon Spider-Man Noir set to premiere on Amazon Prime Video on May 27th. However, those looking to watch the new Spider-Man show when it debuts to avoid spoilers may find themselves in a tricky situation. Spider-Man Noir will now be releasing 2 days before it shows up on Prime. This news comes from Prime Video, which shared an email that Spider-Man Noir will premiere on May 25th on MGM Plus, the linear channel, and globally on Prime Video 2 days later on the 27th. Here's the problem. Apparently, they're dropping all the episodes on the 25th. It had previously been established that the first 2 episodes of the Spidey spinoff would premiere early on May 25th. However, it now seems as though the full series will be available to anyone who has subscribed to MGM Plus, a cable television network in the United States. Yes, but also a Prime Video add-on. The big downside is that despite being an add-on, viewers who want to access the network will need to fork over an extra $8 on top of the Prime Video subscription. Seems a bit cheeky, no. All right. There are 2 different ways of looking at this. Again, it's, Amazon is offering a way for you to watch this early if you so choose by paying an extra $8. On the surface, fair enough. I generally don't have any problem with people getting early access or special access if they're willing to pay a little bit more. I generally don't have a problem with that in principle. Where it becomes a little bit sticky, get it? Where it becomes a little bit sticky is this is a comic book genre thing. And nobody in the world is ever more concerned about potential spoilers than the comic book movie and TV show crowd. And with them dropping this whole thing 2 days before everybody else gets to see it, it's almost like Amazon is forcing you into a position where it's like, hey man, if you don't want to get spoiled of everything that happens in Spider-Man Noir, you should probably pay us that extra $8. and watched it a couple days early. And listen, I'm a fan of Amazon. I am. I love a lot of the stuff that they produce. I've been a big fan of a lot of the things that they've made. I mean, obviously, we're just watching The Boys right now. It's amazing. But this move seems a little sketchy. Like if they were dropping just the first episode 2 days early for those who are members of MGM Plus, I can appreciate that. But this whole notion that they may be revealing or making the entire thing available early, it puts everybody else in a bad spot. And dare I say, maybe this isn't their motivation, but it feels kind of manipulative. I don't know, Rob, you saw this. I am getting more and more excited for this show, actually. But what do you think about this move from Amazon?
Well, first of all, I don't even the fact that there's an MGM Plus. Why isn't it all?
Most people doesn't even know there's an MGM Plus.
I didn't know. And wouldn't you, as Amazon being the parent company now of MGM is an Amazon company, obviously.
Yeah.
Why isn't it all part of the same thing? Why is there even an MGM Plus? That said, now they're trying to get they're trying to get new subscribers to MGM Plus. That annoys me.
Yeah.
It annoys me because I thought, my Amazon Prime subscription that's now what, $178 a year or something? Like, I love Amazon. And
it's probably a little bit extra if you pay to have the no ads
feature
as well, which I added on.
But I will say this, buying things like physical media, Amazon's delivery system and Amazon getting me my products has taken a huge nosedive over the last year. I don't trust Amazon anymore, especially to get physical media. I don't think I've ordered anything in the last 6 months that hasn't been delayed or something. Now they're asking me to do this. I mean, I think you're absolutely right. It's like, look at what kind of a show this show is. It appeals to anybody that loved Across the Spider-Verse, families, kids. It's a 4-quadrant show. I mean, this is the R-rated version of whatever it is it's going to be. But like you pointed out, why this show? They're trying to exploit the fact that, it's a comic book show. And let's face it, I keep forgetting that these TV shows, because I would say that Spider-Man Noir is sort of adjacent to the Spider Universe, because even though
hard to say until we see it.
Yeah, but I mean, even though Across the Spider-Verse and Miles Morales is kind of but it's kind of it's Spider-Man world adjacent, Spider Universe adjacent. So everybody's going to want to watch it, and it's another show that's coming out pre-Doomsday. I mean, hell, I wouldn't be surprised if this character showed up in Secret Wars. I don't know, but still, I just think it's kind of icky. Icky is the word to me. Like, if you've been spending the money to get Amazon Prime and you're excited to see the show, they're not rewarding their loyal Amazon Prime customers. They're trying to get you to come to this streaming service that, let's face it, no one believes is going to last. They don't want. What is there on Amazon or that's on MGM? From is on. Okay, yeah. There you go. That's a good show.
I will say,
From is a good show. Yeah.
I just looked it up, and it looks like you can get a 7-day free trial. So technically, you could take advantage of the free trial and cancel.
I don't have an issue in principle with the idea of, hey, if you're willing to spend a little bit extra, you get a little bit of a bonus.
Sure.
So like, hey, you are also an MGM Plus subscriber. We want to thank you by giving you a 2-day early access to the first episode or two. But like dropping the whole thing, I feel like is a manipulation thing to get people to sign up for. I don't know. Guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? I mean, like Rob pointed out, if you're already spending a whole bunch of money for Amazon Prime Video a year, is it fair for Amazon to be manipulating you? It's like, hey, it'd be a shame if you got spoiled of everything that happens in Spider-Man Noir unless you pay that extra $8. It seems kind of underhanded. I don't know. Whatever you guys think about it, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. Moving from one streaming service that starts with an A to another one, Apple TV's Ted Lasso Season 4 dropped its trailer today. It's out. It's out there. Jason Sudeikis is back as Ted Lasso. And listen, first of all, I'll just say I loved the trailer. I did. It's not the best trailer I've seen all year, but it's a really good, charming trailer. And I remember back when season 3 was wrapping up and the description, remember this, Rob? We were talking about on the show. 2 weeks before the final episode dropped of season 3, the official description very quietly changed. It was exactly the same except for one change in the language. And that one change in the language was from series finale to season finale. Mm-hmm. They changed it 2 weeks prior. And I remember saying at the time, there's going to be a Ted Lasso season 4. May not be right away, but there will be. And sure enough, here we are, we're back. And the thing that makes Ted Lasso so special to me is every once in a while, I remember I said this for Lupita Nyong'o's, was it the Queen of Katwe? I think that was the name of it, where the chess movie. I remember watching that movie and being overwhelmed with the idea of, it's been a long time since I've just seen a movie with no villain, no bad guy. The antagonist is the circumstances that they lived in. It was just a good movie about good people doing good things. And I remember walking out of that movie just feeling really, here's the word again, good. Just feeling good. Fast forward then to when Ted Lasso comes out, and I got that same feeling again. There's no, I mean, yes, Nate for a little while, and yes, the ex-husband, but generally speaking, the narrative of Ted Lasso and everything, there's not really a villain per se. It's just a story about damaged people who are good people just trying to do good things. And there was something charming and uplifting and funny and endearing. You know what? That's part of the reason that when Nate broke bad, I was like, fuck that guy in his whore mouth. Kill that guy. I want that character hit by a bus. Probably because the reason I reacted so strongly to it was because it was like, it's such a wholesome show and then somebody did something bad. Anyway, which is another reason Apple's killing it at that, because Shrinking is another version of that. Part of the reason why I love Shrinking so much is, again, just good but broken people doing good. And I love that. So this trailer comes out and it's such a sweet return to form. I mean, just seeing him walking down the streets again, seeing the characters again, it just made my heart warm. It really did. Now, I don't know if season 4 is going to be a triumph or a mistake. I like the idea that it's the underdog thing again. This time he's coming back to run the women's team, which is something I never knew about, that a lot of these big soccer clubs, they're full clubs. They have men's side and they have women's side. I didn't know that until watching Welcome to Wrexham. It was Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds that introduced me to the idea of this. And so they are capitalizing on that here. And I just like the trailer a lot. I'm looking forward to seeing the show again. Anyway, Rob, what do you think about the return of Ted Lasso? And what do you think about the trailer?
You know, I was late to Ted Lasso. And even when I started watching it, I'm like, what is this? And then, of course, you know, it's totally charming. And I really loved it. But then it has one of my favorite clips that, you know, when you see clips on YouTube from shows or movies or whatever, that clip when he's playing darts.
Yes.
That's one of my favorite things ever. You know, are you curious? And then he throws, you know, what does they say? Barbecue sauce. You know, and I love that clip. And if for no other reason, I love Ted Lasso because of that single clip as sort of espouses the entire philosophy of that show. And it lives up to it. I love Ted Lasso.
I really do too. And I'm really excited about it coming back. Anyway, guys, question is for you. Did you have a chance to see the trailer for the new Ted Lasso? It doesn't give much away, just sets the premise of the show that he's coming back now to coach the women's team. I can't wait for it to come back. I'll be straight up honest with you guys. Especially because I'm feeling that shrinking hole in my heart right now. Now that the season of Shrinking's done. Anyway, whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on and talk about this, shall we? The Devil Wears Prada 2 is nigh. It is upon us now. It's opening up this week. And I've told you guys for a year now, do not sleep on this movie. It's going to be big. People didn't believe me. Then the first little teaser trailer came out, and it was the #1 most watched trailer of all of 2025. Then the full trailer came out in 2026 and instantly got into the top 10 of the most viewed movie trailers of all time. Then Fandango released their annual survey of their customers about the most anticipated movies of the summer. Number 1 was Toy Story. Number 2 was Spider-Man. Number 3 was not Odyssey. Number 3 was not Moana. Number 3, ahead of the Odyssey, Devil Wears Prada 2. I've been telling you guys, it's going to be a lot of interest in this movie. It's going to be big. Well, now the first reactions are out. And they are overwhelmingly glowing. There's a few that didn't like it, a couple that didn't like it, and we'll get to those too. I want to mention those. But overall, the response seems really good. And apparently, one of the main themes in the movie is not what I was expecting. It's a critical view of the eroded nature of journalism today. Apparently, is a big theme in the movie. Anyway, we go over to the Hollywood Reporter and get some of the first reactions now for Devil Wears Prada 2. Hard to imagine anyone who's a fan of the first film being disappointed with the Devil Wears Prada 2. It's funny, charming, and filled with genuinely heartwarming payoffs. Anne Hathaway, Meryl Streep, Emily Blunt, and Stanley Tucci slip back into the roles with ease. Eric Anderson wrote, "The Devil Wears Prada 2 has no right to be as good as it is. Just the right kind of number of callbacks and earned nostalgia. Anne Hathaway continues to be our most vibrant star. It's funny and deeper, and we get the return of Vogue." Courtney Howard did not like it. "Gird your loins." That's one of the best lines from the first movie. "I didn't love The Devil Wears Prada 2. Outside of its well-intentioned spotlight on the failing state of journalism, the narrative fails to resonate. Felt like a series of thinly connected story whims, no suspense, but beautiful sequins everywhere." Andrea Thompson says, "Wow, I actually loved The Devil Wears Prada 2. I say that as somebody who watched the first movie and hated it. I always find that interesting. People are like, I hated the first one, but I love this one. Like the book, it's basically talking about the first film. It's basically a cautionary and morality tale of women being punished for basically having ambition, which is one of my most hated tropes, but she loved Devil Wears Prada 2. One of the original guys in the online space, Gregory Elwood, over at the Playlist wrote, for everyone who was assuming The Devil Wears Prada 2 would be bad, well, you're wrong. Often unexpectedly smart, moving, and funny. Be ready to be surprised." Matthew Huff wrote, "I just watched The Devil Wears Prada 2, and it's fucking incredible. One of the best sequels we've had in years." Patrick Ferguson wrote, "The Devil Wears Prada is the perfect summer movie, where the original seduced us with wide-eyed ambition. This sequel arrives fully self-possessed, sharper, wiser, and draped in the kind of confidence that cannot be bought, only earned." I'll do one more. Brandon Pope wrote, "The Devil Wears Prada 2 is better than most legacy sequels, with Meryl Streep, Anne Hathaway, and crew slipping back into their characters with ease. Pacing was iffy, but it's glitzy. Turned the fashion up, funny, charming, and timely with its plot around the shrinking state of media." So, I mean, not everybody has loved it. By the way, I should mention one other person who didn't like it.
Scott Mantz.
Friend of mine who also didn't like Superman. Yep. Scott, first year in forever, I didn't get a chance to talk to Scott at CinemaCon.
I did.
I didn't bump into him at CinemaCon.
Oh, yeah.
But it's funny because every year, and I say this with love, every year when, at some point at CinemaCon, when you're sitting in the theater waiting for the next presentation to start, over the 5,000 seat auditorium, you will hear Scott Mantz talking to somebody. "Oh my goodness, how are you?"
Or you'll see him standing up.
Yep.
Somewhere. I saw him outside. He was talking to Jeremy Johns outside but they didn't see me, and I didn't talk to Scott until the next day.
Yep. But again, Scott didn't like it either. But the vast majority of everybody I've been reading seems to have really liked it. Now, I'm one of these guys. I actually, even though the movie is not my normal cup of tea, I really like the first film. I think it's a really good movie. I said on the show the other day that recently Anne wanted to rewatch it to get ready for the upcoming one. And I sat down and I watched it with her and I'm like, damn, I forgot how actually really, truly solidly good this movie is.
Yeah, I think I watched it for the first time about 6 weeks ago. And I thought it was...
That was your first time?
Yeah. And I thought it was just going to be like the stereotypical, like, she was just going to be this villain you hated and everyone was just like a one note.
No.
It was not like that at all.
No.
It
was.
I actually enjoyed it and I'm looking forward to this. I told Laura, I'm like, I'm an honorary girl boss now. I watched Devil Wears Prada.
No, I think you're right. And, to be honest, I just like these actresses.
Yeah.
And I'll hang out. And so I love Stanley Tucci. And if they're going to play 30-year-old Madonna songs, I wish they would have used Justify My Love, but I understand why they're going with Vogue because it's the fashion world. Okay, I'm in.
Are you surprised? Is there anything that we've been reading in all the reactions and reviews that has surprised you that either is there or isn't there? Is it right around what you were expecting? What do you think?
Well, I don't know what people would expect from this movie. I mean, it's not Empire Strikes Back. It's not The Road Warrior. It's not Godfather 2. It's Devil Wears Prada 2. So, like, if I can hang out with these people in the high fashion world where everyone is fabulous, that's all I want. You know, I'm not looking for some Byzantine plot that's going to take me through the intricacies of what it's like to live in late-stage capitalism New York and still try and keep my journalistic integrity intact. Don't care. That's not what I'm looking for from this movie, although that would be an interesting movie, but I'll go watch The Paper, you know, or I'll watch Spotlight for that. I want Devil Wears Prada. I want to see guys dressed in clothes I can't afford, and nor would I understand how to wear them, or would I have the body to do so even if I could. That's what I want. I want hot chicks in great clothes. I want Meryl Streep being Meryl Streep.
And the Tooch being the Tooch.
Tooch being the Tooch. He's super Tooch. Look at that.
Super Tooch.
Look at that. Look at that linen. Is that a linen suit? It's probably wool or gabardine.
That's wool, yeah.
That is one hell of a suit, man.
Yeah.
You know what? If I could, I would dress like that every day.
Oh, so would I. But I don't have the sense for it. If I tried, it would look very
I don't have
different.
the sense for it. I don't have the body. I don't have the patience, and I don't have the money.
By the way,
if I did.
Oh, sure. Me too. If I had a stylist, I would dress like that all the time.
Hell yeah.
By the way, have you ever seen Stanley Tucci's travel cooking show?
Oh my God.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Only I end up starving. I feel like I'm starving at the end of every episode.
I watched someone do an impersonation of him on that show, and it was amazing. It was so good.
Dude, he's the super Tooch.
I love the
By the way, I just want to throw it out since we're talking about Stanley Tucci. He was in the second season of one of my favorite 80s shows, Wise Guy, during the rag trade arc. He played Rick Pinzolo, evil fashionista.
Maybe it's a shared universe.
He was a bad dude, but you know what? If you haven't seen Wise Guy, you should do yourself a favor. Watch the rag trade arc. It's great.
All right. With that down, guys, question is for you. Have you had a chance to see all the reactions to The Devil Wears Prada 2? Listen, maybe you're like a lot of guys and you're just like, this isn't one that's been on my radar. But I think it should be on your radar. It's a better film than you might think. At least go back, watch the original. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to this, shall we? You know, Mortal Kombat relaunched a couple of years ago with the great Hiroyuki Sanada playing Scorpion in it. And the trailers were awesome. And I was so excited to see that movie. And it sucked. It was terrible. It didn't just disappoint. It was truly a bad movie. And it left me very, very disappointed when I walked out of it. And it didn't make any money, but then they announced they were going to do a Mortal Kombat 2. I'm like, well, I mean, I don't know why they're doing it, but if they can fix the mistakes, maybe it'll be good. And man, the trailers have been kind of awesome. Then they showed a presentation for it at CinemaCon, and it lowered my expectations a little bit, but whatever. It was just one scene that we watched, and it is what it is. I love Carl Urban. Well, now the Mortal Kombat 2 reactions are out, and they are much better than the first film's reactions were, and they're actually sounding pretty good, including from some people that I did not expect that would say nice things about this movie. We go over and take a look at some of the first reactions for Mortal Kombat 2. Brandon Davis wrote, Mortal Kombat 2 is the movie we should have gotten the first time. It feels more confident and comfortable, embracing its video game roots to huge benefit. It's a fun, fast-paced, ridiculous bloodbath with great action. Katana is the heart of it. Kano is hilarious. I heard a few people say Kano was like a low-key MVP. In
that line there, it's fun, fast-paced bloodbath. I'm in.
Bloodbath, yeah. I was in with this is the movie we should have gotten the first time.
Yeah.
I like that. Then we heard from Gage, who wrote, I just finished watching an advanced screening of Mortal Kombat 2, and wow, the fight scenes were epic. Attention to detail with the characters is crazy. I was looking at Kung Lao's moves, and he definitely uses Wing Chun, which I love. And Johnny Cage, Carl Urban, definitely was great. Goes on about that. Andre St. Albin writes, Mortal Kombat 2 is the coolest effing movie of the summer. Complete perfection. And he wrote it with a K, with complete.
Yeah.
Complete perfection. Very deadly Alliance vibes. And like the 90s classic film, if it were made today with non-stop crazy combat action. Then we go on to Ash Crossan, who wrote, happy to say Mortal Kombat 2 is so much fun. Hilarious, wild, and gory as hell. Katana is the heart. Johnny and Kano are comedy gold. It is high octane and packed with a ton of great references. I personally love the first one. Well, you lost me there. But this one is a level above. And yeah, that's a bunch of the reactions that we heard from it. I read some other ones that were kind of along the same one. I read one or two that completely hated the first one and didn't really like this one, but they said it was better. Still didn't like it, but they said it was better than the first one. I also read from a couple of people who I know really didn't like the first one, but really did like this one, which is cool too. Again, listen, when you're making a movie on Mortal Kombat, it's a tricky thing, man, because you can't go social network. You can't try to tell a hard-hitting, driving narrative. You can't make the Game of Thrones of Outworld, right? There's a camp to it. There's a silliness to it. So you got to try to find a way, and I'm not going to pretend like it would be easy. I'm sure it'd be ridiculously hard to balance the nostalgic, fun camp of it with the promise of it has the ability to be a little deeper and hard-hitting with the tournament and all that kind of stuff.
I hear they're trying to save the crumbling journalism industry in this one.
That's at the end of the day. That's what it is.
Nicely done.
Kano is actually trying to save journalism. So now listen, I do really think it looks a lot better than that Street Fighter garbage. Like, I think Street Fighter just looks like vomit on diarrhea, but whatever. Hopefully I'll enjoy it. Hopefully it'll be good. But
I wish you hadn't said that.
I do this. I like hearing this because, like I said, I've been loving the trailers for Mortal Kombat 2. Then the presentation took a little bit of the wind out of my sails, but it's good to hear this. Anyway, Rob, where's your expectation level for Mortal Kombat 2, and what are you taking away from a bunch of the reactions we've been hearing?
Well, you know, I always call it watching movies at...
Kano wears Prada. Somebody says in the live chat. I like that.
You know, I always talk about watching movies at scale, meaning you have to scale your opinion and your expectations based on the source that you're watching. Now, when you're talking about whether a Mortal Kombat movie is good or bad, that's what I mean by watching a movie at scale. If you want to watch a ridiculous bloodbath, you can see ridiculous bloodbaths that are good and then ridiculous bloodbaths that are terrible. And I think one of my favorite examples of that is a B movie that I particularly love that stars Brian Bosworth called Stone Cold. And Stone Cold, I think, is actually, I mean, yes, is Brian Bosworth in the lead utterly ridiculous? 100%. You know, with his, but Lance Henriksen and their entire biker gang are the most badass guys in the world, and they ground the movie, and you take it seriously. Because what are you looking for from a movie called Stone Cold? What you're looking for is a director like Craig Baxley, who was a former stuntman, that knocks it out of the park. In this movie, I want to see somebody that understands the appeal of the Mortal Kombat video game franchise, which, yeah, it's silly, but when you're playing it, you take it seriously. You buy into the game. Yes, fatality. You're ripping people's heads off. You're using crazy powers. And it's not a goof. The game still has to work, you know, as a Mortal Kombat game. And that's kind of the same attitude I take into the movie. You can't just make it stupid like, say, an Asylum movie. You've got to make it work. You know, you've got to make it work within that fantasy context, because that fantasy context will give it a lot of leeway. And if you do it in the right way, it can kick some ass. John Carpenter knew that when he made Big Trouble in Little China.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. You know what's always killed me, though, about Mortal Kombat? I remember even thinking this as a kid. You play Mortal Kombat, and it's like you're watching the health bars. And I remember having this existential moment about really questioning about the universe that this inhabits. Because, you know, somebody would punch the other guy in the face, and the power bar would go down a bit. Another character who literally has swords does a stabby stab to the chest, same amount comes off the health bar.
Yeah.
Like a stab to the chest, same as punch to the face. But anyway, I wonder if they're gonna poke at that a little bit in this movie. I would love it if they did. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? The first reactions for Mortal Kombat 2 are surprisingly pretty positive, including coming from some people I know who really didn't like the first film, like me. It's given me some more hope. I don't know, whatever you guys think about it, jump down into the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, we still have a number of other things to talk about, including some rumors that Nintendo has no less than 10 new projects they're trying to get turned into a movie. And Daredevil's viewership, according to some reports, is down roughly 50% from last season's Daredevil. We're going to talk about that and why and a few things more. But before we do, we're going to take a quick second to thank the sponsor of today's episode of the John Campea Show, our friends at Pocket Hose. We want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Pocket Hose. Guys, I'm excited to tell you about the world's #1 expanding garden hose and their brand new product, the Pocket Hose Ballistic. As you guys can imagine, I'm not exactly gentle with my gear. I drag hoses across concrete over the pool, yank them around corners. I even coil and uncoil them all the time to put them in my camper van when I go out on my movie meetups. And generally speaking, a lot of them don't last. But the Pocket Hose Ballistic has been a totally different story for me. It's incredibly durable, super lightweight, and just makes the whole job easier. One of my favorite things is how simple it is to use. You turn the water on, it expands. Turn it off, it shrinks right back down to pocket size. And it's reinforced with a liquid crystal polymer, the same kind of material used in bulletproof vests. Plus, it comes with the pocket pivot, which gives you 360-degree rotation at the spigot so it moves with you instead of fighting against you. And now, for a limited time, when you purchase a new Pocket Hose Ballistic, you'll get a free 360-degree rotating pocket pivot and a free thumb drive nozzle. Just text Campea to 64,000. That's CAMPEA to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. Text Campea to 64,000. Message and data rates may apply. And thank you to our friends at Pocket Hose for sponsoring today's episode of the John Campea Show. All right, guys. That all down, let's move on to this. You know, the first Mario Brother came out, well, the animated one, at any rate, over $1.3 billion. The second one is out right now. It's not going to reach what the first one did, but it's already at $830 million after 4 weekends and has made incredibly good business for the studio. So it's not surprising that after a long hiatus from letting any movie studios touch their IP to make movies, there is a rumor going around. This was being reported by Cinema Blend, that Nintendo's looking at no less than 10 projects that they're trying to develop right now. Now, Cinema Blend is quick to point out this should be filed under the rumor mill.
I love rumors.
This should be taken as rumor, but still, let's take a look at this. They're saying they're already deep in development for a Donkey Kong movie, slated for a 2028 release. If they haven't actually greenlit and started making this movie, that movie's not going to come out in 2028, but still, could be in development. Work has begun on a Mario 3, which is no surprise. A Star Fox movie is in development.
That's what I want.
2030 release. A Kirby movie is in early development. Luigi's Mansion is in the pitching stage.
Okay, because we thought that was in the works at least.
Looking for writers. A Yoshi's Island movie. Despite previous statements, a Super Smash Brothers movie is being planned. See, this is the thing that makes me doubt the report at all, is because we literally heard from the head of the studio and the head of Nintendo saying we are not looking at doing a Smash Brothers movie, but whatever. It says they're also exploring idea for Bowser and Princess Peach and Rosalina movies. Pikmin movie is also looking for writers. Universal is trying to get the rights for Metroid and more characters from Nintendo. All right. The problem remains the same. And I remember after the first Mario movie came out, and again, an incredible over $1.3 billion at the box office, a lot of people started going, well, then they should start making all these movies. And I'm like, that's great. But the problem is there's only one Mario. Like, I look at this list. Donkey Kong? Maybe you could have something there. Obviously, Mario 3. Star Fox movie. I'm going to tell you right now, no one's going to go see it.
Yes, they will. I will.
That movie. Okay, that's great. They'll be enough to maybe make $300 million at the box office. Maybe.
How dare
Kirby
you,
movie?
sir.
probably less. Luigi's Mansion, like as a proper spin-off of the Mario thing, because it's Mario, he's one of the Super Mario Brothers, and Luigi's Mansion is beloved, and the whole scenario, I would say, is actually very well suited for a movie adaptation. The whole story of it is perfectly suited for a movie adaptation. That could have some success, as well as a Bowser movie and Princess Peach and Rosalina. There'd be some potential there. But yeah, like a Yoshi's Island, no one's going to go see that. Kirby movie, no one's going to go see that. It's just, there is, I said this before too. The problem with Mario is that in the land of Nintendo, there is only one Mario. That's it. The only other thing that comes close is Zelda and Link. That's it. That's the only thing that comes close to the multi-generation beloved, still almost as hot today as it was back then. And they are making a Zelda movie, live action Zelda movie, as a matter of fact, coming out in 2028 or late 2027, one of the two. So I mean, this is what you're going to run into, is that you lead with your absolute biggest, most popular thing. But I think that's the only thing they really got that can run. So I don't know, Rob, you seem to think Star Fox is going to be a hit if they do it.
Well, the one thing is you need a character that you can base a movie around. And I think creatively, I haven't seen the second Mario movie, but they've talked about how there's not necessarily the most cohesive plot, and it didn't work. Whereas I thought that the first movie did a pretty good job of creating the characters and fleshing them out from just their video game personas. And I think that look, you might run into a Buzz Lightyear problem when the movie Lightyear comes out and it doesn't, do very well. But I think Star Fox you could make a good movie out of it because it's character based. It'd have to be good. I'm not saying anyone's going to go buy it. And the same thing would be true of like Luigi's Mansion. And they're talking about a Donkey Kong movie that I'd be dubious about, but it seems like that's the first one that's going to be coming out from this list. I'm just curious, how do you do that? How do you make a Donkey Kong movie?
Well, at least Donkey Kong, I'll say, like, they just had a Game of the Year nominated game. Like,
right. That's probably
and I got to admit, that Donkey Kong game where you just go around, wreck everything, the newest one they have out, is kind of baller fun. Like, there's something very therapeutic about just running around and literally smashing everything.
And also, Mario
fun.
is as much a part of the Donkey Kong franchise as anybody, because Mario is the one that's trying to get past Donkey Kong, the original game.
I can see some of these, if Universal can get the rights, some of these going to Peacock as being like a Peacock movie or Peacock
animated
series.
Shows, like Luigi's Island.
Yeah.
Would
Like
be
animated shows would be one thing,
Yeah.
right? I mean, again, a Star Fox animated show, a Kirby animated show, a Yoshi's Island animated show. I could see some argument for that. But they're saying a Yoshi Island movie, a Kirby movie. So again, I have my doubts about the veracity of this rumor, about the legitimacy of it. Again, we all know they're going to do Mario 3. We all know for a couple of years they've been talking about doing Donkey Kong. But I don't know. I just don't know if there's a lot here I don't know if there's a lot in the cupboard.
Well, they've made some development money over the last two films.
No, they certainly have. They
Hey,
certainly got
writers.
the money to play with.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? There's a rumor going around about Nintendo possibly trying to develop all these movies now that Mario has been successful for them. But do their other characters carry that same, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? That same cachet that Mario carries.
Yeah, that draw.
I'm not sure that they do. I don't know. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right. Guys, with that down, there's been a bunch of things going on in the world of movie and TV news that we don't always have the time to talk about in depth, but I want to make sure you guys are caught up on a bunch of these things, so that's why we have this little segment that we call In Other News. So let's get things started. We're going to start with Django and Zorro. Sony is developing a film adaptation of Quentin Tarantino's crossover comic series of Django and Zorro, and they've tapped Oscar winner Brian Helgeland, I'm hoping I'm saying his name right, to write the script. Now, he won his Oscar for writing Mystic River, which was awesome. And he got nominated for an Oscar for writing LA Confidential, which is awesome.
It's in my top 5 movies of all time.
He also wrote Man on Fire and A Knight's Tale. So he's got some diversity in there. While Tarantino is not going to direct this one himself, he's given the project his full blessing and is staying on as an executive producer. People are already speculating whether Jamie Foxx and Antonio Banderas will return to their iconic roles, especially since this project has been in development hell for years. We'll wait and see if this actually gets greenlit and made. I have my doubts, but it would be an interesting idea. All right. Next up, speaking of iconic returns, Matthew Lillard has been having a massive resurgence lately, no thanks to Quentin Tarantino, but has had a pretty hilarious take on why he's suddenly everywhere again. During a recent interview, Lillard admitted that he thinks his current career resurgence is purely fueled by nostalgia. He joked that people don't necessarily like him, they just miss the old times that he represents. Now, whether that's the reason or not, Lillard has recently appeared in things like Daredevil, Scream 7, Five Nights at Freddy's, Life of Chuck, and will be one of the stars in the upcoming Carrie series. So good on him. I like seeing him come back.
He was great in Daredevil.
He could, yes. I really like his character in Daredevil a lot.
I love him since SLC Punk.
Oh, yeah. I have that in 4K.
Next up, however, not every legacy sequel is having a smooth ride. Production on Rush Hour 4 has hit a major wall because of a quote-unquote, according to rumors, a massive pay dispute. Reports are circulating that Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker both walked away from the initial offers of $8 million each to do Rush Hour 4, which admittedly is a huge step down from the $20 million paychecks they each got for the third film back in 2007, which is fucking ridiculous considering that movie only made $258 million at the box office. Some fans, not me, have been waiting nearly 20 years for Lee and Carter to reunite, but until the studio opens up its wallet, this project is right now considered on the shelf. $20 million each for a movie that made $250-something million.
Where's the Ruby Rod movie, man? That's what I want to see.
Utterly ridiculous.
I would walk away from $8 million.
All right. Next up, on the business side of things, it looks like the streaming wars might finally have a new contender. Peacock is officially projecting that it will turn its first ever profit by the end of this year. Even though they've been losing hundreds of millions of dollars every quarter for the last number of years, their massive investment in live sports like the NBA and the Winter Olympics has paid off with a huge surge in subscribers. While other platforms are struggling with churn and cancellations, Peacock is banking on sports fans to keep the lights on. It's a huge milestone for NBC Universal and might just change how every other streamer handles their content going forward. And finally, the video game adaptation trend is showing no signs of slowing down. I'm really looking forward to God of War. The reigning, defending Oscar winner, Best Actor Michael B. Jordan and Mission Impossible director Christopher McQuarrie are officially teaming up for a big-budget Battlefield movie. Following the record-breaking success of Battlefield 6 last year, Electronic Arts is looking to turn the franchise into a cinematic powerhouse. The project is currently being shopped around to major studios like Apple and Sony for what is expected to be a massive bidding war. With McQuarrie's knack for high-octane action and Jordan's star power, this could be the military epic that a lot of fans have been waiting for. And that will do it for In Other News. All right, guys. Hey, by the way, guys, do me a favor. Let me know if you guys still like In Other News. Now that we just do the live reads and stuff like that, do you still think it's a good part of the show? Do you care if that we do it? Should we not do it? Whatever you guys think, let me know down in the comments section below. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to this, shall we? Daredevil's viewership has dropped 50% from season 1. Let me say that again. Daredevil's viewership, according to reports, has dropped almost 50% from season 1, which is absolutely crazy to me for two reasons. Number one, the first season was good.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't the best Daredevil, but it was good. And season 2 has been great.
Mm-hmm.
I have loved season 2. It's been a big step up. But according to reports, it looks like the numbers have not been so good. This comes to us from CBM, who wrote, Streaming platforms rarely, if ever, reveal official viewership numbers for movies and TV shows. However, many third-party companies attempt to estimate those figures, including Luminate, which we have talked about on this show before, is Luminate, which measures projects by minutes watched or views by film, TV series, or episodes. How these companies collate this data isn't always made abundantly clear, though they typically aggregate data from a massive panel of connected TVs using automatic content recognition technology to identify what's being watched on screen. Now, here's the rub. The latest figures shared by the company reveal that Daredevil Born Again Season 2 has accumulated 4,500,000 season views, 10,800,000 hours watched, and 652 million minutes watched. In comparison, Season 1 generated 8,357,000 season views, 24 million hours watched, and 1.4 billion minutes watched in the same amount of time. This marks a decline of 46% in total views and 54% in total hours watched over the past 5 weeks. The numbers suggest that Daredevil Born Again has suffered a roughly 50% decline in overall viewership on Disney+. All right. We talk about a lot, it comes up that, hey guys, not every hit show is good. And not every show that fails to get an audience is bad. I remember a couple of weeks ago, a lot of our own viewers were writing in the live chat that, the Nielsen numbers came out and Daredevil wasn't even on the chart. Didn't even pop up on it. And now this. Now, I do want to remind everybody, though. I want to remind everybody that Daredevil on Netflix was never some massive ratings giant either. It was beloved. Now, it obviously launched pretty well with with Daredevil Season 1, because that was 2015. That was like at the tail end, going into phase 2. Marvel was peaking. Everything was Marvel at that time. There was huge excitement around the brand, and Daredevil on Netflix dropped its first season in that year of 2015. But I also want to remind us something like this. This type of a big drop, this isn't the first time this happened to Daredevil. Because if we go over and take a look at this, so Daredevil on Netflix, right? It also, on Netflix, took a huge drop. According to Parrot Analytics and TV Line, the second season of Daredevil on Netflix took a 57% drop going into season 3. Now, also season 2 had a lot of interest because it was the introduction of Punisher and all that kind of stuff. But season 2 was loved, season 3 was loved, and yet that third season saw a 57% drop, again, according to Parrot Analytics and TV Line, from season 2, which is crazy because the show was awesome. And yet it took those types of dips. And I think a lot of people, when it was coming, I remember we talked about this, Rob, when it was coming, when Daredevil Born Again was first coming to Disney Plus, and some discussions started to come up about what the viewership numbers will be. Like, we talked about the fact that we got to remember, it's not like, as much as we in our demographics loved Daredevil, we got to remember it was never this massive numbers juggernaut. It did peak with some good numbers, again, because of how Marvel was peaking at the time, but it was never that huge. And this is not the first time we've seen a significant drop like this. But when you have a show that is as good as this, you've got to ask why. Why are we seeing these numbers drop? The first thing we have to go to is, if I'm just being objective, is even though I quite like season 1, maybe a lot of people didn't. Maybe a lot of people, I know a lot of people like me didn't think it was as good as the Netflix version, but it was still really good. Maybe a lot of people didn't think it was even any good. Not just in comparison to the Netflix version, but maybe just on its own merits, didn't think it was any good, and they decided not to come back and try it for a second round. You can make that argument, but everybody liked Daredevil Season 2 on Netflix, and that took a 57% drop too. The second thing is this. Maybe TVMA/R-rated just does not work for Marvel. Maybe people who are Marvel fans, the general audience, remember, we're not talking about those of us hardcore fans, but maybe the general audience is simply not looking for the R-rated material that we get in Daredevil. Now, the counter to that, of course, is, well, then why did Deadpool and Wolverine make $1.3 billion at the box office? And you can say, well, it's comedy and it's fun, but still, there's that. Some people might point to it maybe being a marketing problem. I don't know, man. I kind of feel like they marketed it well enough. Some people might point to, hey, Marvel is simply not on the same level of, hype and excitement that it was in 2015. It's on its way back, but I think there's something to be said for that. So, yeah, man, overall, I think there are some theories. I just presented some theories why it just dropped, but I don't feel super confident in any of those theories either. I'm at a little bit of a loss, especially, Rob, considering how good this season has been. Because this has been Netflix Daredevil level quality to me. So, Rob, you see these numbers. Does it surprise you? What do you attribute it to? What do you think?
Okay, I've really enjoyed the show quite a lot. And I think that season 1 really teed up this season quite well. I mean, I still maintain that it was all kind of produced as the same long-term story. If I were to guess, I have a sort of more of an out there theory. One, I keep forgetting that it's on. For whatever reason.
A lot of people do.
I think
Jonathan, didn't you say the same thing? Earlier?
Even though it's
I finally caught up over the weekend.
Yeah, I've missed, I think, the last 2 episodes. The wake of Vanessa getting the shard in her head. I haven't gone there. I mean, I know what happens, but I haven't watched those episodes. But I also think, I'll tell you, this is a weird, call it a theory, I just don't think people want this story right now. I think the world around us is so crazy and weird, and just you wake up every day and you dread reading the news. What calamity is going to befall us in whatever sector of our civilization that we're dealing with? And this sort of deals with that. I watch this show and I don't feel good when it's over. And I mean,
that's fair.
And
that's fair.
I watch a show like For All Mankind, which is one of my favorite shows of all time. And I feel elated when I watch it. The human beings are taking off to Titan to go discover life, and there's something nowadays. I don't think I've ever lived in a time, and also because I'm older, so I'm closer to my own death. But I feel that our civilization is sort of spinning out of control. And one of the things about like watching an Avengers movie is they're going to help us. They're going to reverse Thanos' snap, no matter how crazy it's going to get. Not in this upcoming movie. I expect it to be a cliffhanger and things are going to be bad. But, for the most part, you watch a superhero movie and you kind of want to get that warm, cuddly feeling like somebody will be there to help us. But this show tells us, nope.
Yeah. Look, I'll just say straight up. We Donald Trump is the darkest timeline. And you're right. We are living in a world right now where things are maybe that has something to do with why I feel so good when I watch something like Shrinking, or why I get so excited about something like Ted Lasso, or you're watching things like The Boys, which deals with also some pretty heavy stuff, but does it in a jovial way and gives a lot of laughs.
Well, they're trying to say to us, please don't be this way.
Yes, please
we're better than this.
Please, world, don't be like this. But I don't know, maybe that might have something to do with it too. I mean, despite the fact of how great the show is, and I think it's fantastic this season. Maybe it's just striking a little bit too close to home for some people. And it's like, this doesn't make me feel, because you're right. As much as I love the show, I don't end the show going, wow,
I'm rejuvenated.
I want to call my dad and I want to, reconnect with people and see, I feel rejuvenated and my heart is full. Yeah, that doesn't really happen after watching Daredevil. Maybe that has something to do with it.
I turn the TV off and I look out the window. I'm like, how come I thought I turned this off? What's going on? It all looks the same.
Yeah, I mean, so it's tricky. I would be curious. Now, obviously, these numbers always come on a delay.
Yeah.
Like they always come like 2 or 3 weeks later. So this is probably reflecting like the first three, maybe 4 weeks. I'd be curious to see in a couple of weeks once the show ends, because I think it's the second last episode tonight, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Tonight's episode
It's
7 or
7.
8. So I think there's only a couple of episodes left. I would be curious to see what the numbers have done as word of mouth has spread that this show's really good and the season's really. I'd be curious to see, do the numbers stay flat or drop more? Or do we see, even though it was pretty low in the first few weeks, that maybe people then caught on later and the numbers go up? I honestly have no guess. I can't even guess, because my guess would have been, man, I bet you the numbers for Daredevil season 2 this year are better than last year. And I would have been wrong. So I don't even know if I have a guess. If you had a guess, Rob, right now, if 4 weeks we revisit the numbers of Daredevil, do we see an uptick because of the quality of the show, or flatline? I don't know.
You know what? I absolutely think we'll see an uptick, because the show itself has been ramping up. So I think people, as they finally hear how good it is, word of mouth, whatever, people are going to, and like myself, I'll finally catch back up. So the quality of this show is really high. And I do expect that it will have an uptick, and it'll continue to do so, because people are going to go back to it and find out. And they're going to go back and watch seasons 1 and 2. And also we have, like, look, an onslaught. We're moving into Spider-Man Brand New Day, and Punisher is in that. We've got the Punisher special coming up. So I think there's just going to be more awareness of the Daredevil universe coming up. So people are going to go back to it.
Yeah. And again, like some people pointing out in the live chat, and we've said this before too, again, I think a lot of people just overestimate just how popular Daredevil as a character is, or overestimate how big of a show it was when it was actually on Netflix. Again, we'll just bring up this graphic one more time. Let's not forget that when it was on Netflix, season 2 to season 3 took a 57% drop, which is unexplainable to me. But anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Are you surprised to see these viewership numbers? Maybe they're exactly what you thought. Do you think the numbers will go up as we've gotten further into the season, or do you think they'll stay flatlined? And what explanations would you give to maybe why the viewership has been down this much? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. Hey, before we wrap up, I want to make sure you guys know that a little bit later today at 4 p.m. Los Angeles time, that's about 3 hours from now, that'll be 7 p.m. New York time, we're going to do our next installment of Open Mic. And we'll look forward to you guys coming back and join us, where we're just going to take all your live comments and questions. The primary way we take your questions on Open Mic is in the live chat using Super Chats. But if you can't be around for Open Mic when we're doing it live, but you still have a question or topic you want to send in, use our tip link and send it in at www.streamelements.com/JohnCampea/tip. And as long as the question or topic or issue you want to bring up is appropriate for the show, you'll see us address it on Open Mic a little bit later today. So that will do it for today's installment of the John Campea Show. Thank you so much, guys, for spending your time coming and hanging out with us. Everybody in the live chat, from Marcus Y and Stuma, Perps and Lewis, and everybody in the live chat, thank you guys for taking time out of your day to spend with us. It really means a lot to us that you do. Big thanks, of course, to Jonathan Voico.
See you guys tomorrow.
To Robert Meyer Burnett.
I'll be back tomorrow, too.
My name's John Campea. I'll see you a little bit later this afternoon on Open Mic. And until then, my friends, bye-bye.